Eternals, it's an okay movie. Um, they missed a few things, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. This is a non-spoiler review of Eternals, so don't worry about any spoilers here. What I have to say from the start, Eternals is it's it's good. It drags a bit, but it's good, and I see what people are talking about. Eternals from the beginning is not hasn't been really a comic book that people have gotten into. It's not very popular. Not many people know about it. I don't know much about Eternals. It's really hard. It's probably one of Marvel's hardest franchise to get going. It's made solely by Jack Kirby, and it's really about these Celestials and their experimentations on different planets. In the comic books, they experiment on different planets with evolution of human life. In the movie, it's kind of the same thing, but I do have to say, with the basis of this movie, they kind of keep it somewhat to the base of the comic books. Um, I'm gonna start with the actors and stuff across the board of actors. My favorites are Angelina Jolie's Thea, number one, Cersei, number two, and probably Icarus. Um, I with story development with these characters, it don't really go in depth like you thought they would, or like I thought they would. There is a lot of holes with the story of the Eternals, but in the way they explain their stories, it's kind of rushy a little bit for because they're really trying to establish 10 characters. So there's a little gaps and holes with it. But overall, character wise, they're 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 pretty they're okay. With Gemma Chan, Cersei, she does come a little bit kind of flat. Icarus is more popping. Angelina Jolie is very good as playing a PTSD style of the character. I understand why they picked her for this role. Kumail Nanjiani is the most charismatic and the most energetic character in this entire movie. His Kingo is very energetic, he brings gravitas into the entire film. Every time he's on screen, he brings gravitas. Sprite, I like Sprite. She's okay. It's the character Sprite acts like the character in the comics. Sprite does what she does in the comics. So like I kind of understand. I don't see anything really wrong with Sprite. She seems pretty accurate to the comic book. Your problem with you're gonna have in this movie is it's just Eternals. It really doesn't catch you. They're gonna have to do some tweaking with these characters for their next movie or their next adventure. It's gonna be really rough. The events that happen in Eternals does make most of the Infinity Saga and everything that's going on in the Marvel Cinematic Universe being pointless, down to the multiverse of freaking madness, which is not even out yet, makes it kind of pointless. So the Eternals is just going to be something that's really going to be left and right. It's going to be controversial. I think, because this is not spoiler, I'm not trying to get it because there's a lot of shit that goes on in this movie that anything I can say could probably spoil it. I say with characters, there's one character in the movie which that everybody talks about, the LGBTQ thing. I don't think it's much of a problem with this character. He's not very good. He's okay. I don't know why they even went to that point. I don't think it would have made any difference. just keeping the character the way he was in the comic books would have been just fine. They would have been better. But other than that, he's not bad. It's very diverse. The speedster in this movie, they changed. I kind of like her being a deaf superhero. She's okay. But I do agree, the special effects with the speed and everything is better than I've seen in many different speedsters. The Flash TV show, The Flash in Batman v Superman, or not Batman v Superman, Justice League's Flash, Quicksilver in Avengers Age of Ultron. She is by far the best visual effects with speed. Best that I've seen. That's real talk. Her speed is pretty good. The way they show how she runs and stuff, I want to see more of her. The villains are lackluster. But I do have to say, with the Deviants, let's just put it this way, they did nothing with the Deviants. I think they missed the opportunity with the Deviants. I think they used the Deviants as a tool, just a tool or just something to progress the story forward. The Deviants in this movie is not the Deviants in the comic book. There's a lot more depth and more relationships with the Deviants than what they did here. So the Deviants was a missed opportunity, and there's a twist in this movie anyways. So no spoilers. There's just a twist. Whatever. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's a bad movie. I just say Marvel needs to start getting off of Disney. They probably need to start getting off this Disney track. They need to start being a little bit more aggressive with their movies. I'm about to watch this show called Arcane on Netflix, and I heard some rave reviews on that. So, making my example is, from what I'm hearing with the reviews of this and compared to Eternals, it's going to be an example of like they need to start taking more risk. They need to start, not every villain, every once in a while there's a villain that's good. They need to start lining their villains up consistently. They're inconsistent with their villains, very inconsistent. I do think Marvel needs to make a change. Eternals is an okay film. It just has so many, the formula has to change somewhere. Chloe Zhao, she's a good director. There's some good cinematography. The way Icarus flies and shoots, it's good. It's just that it's time for them to start getting off of the formulaic. This is still a Marvel movie. This is a Marvel movie through and through. It's not very Chloe Zhao different movie. I mean, Chloe Zhao did a movie. It's watered down Marvel. It is watered down Marvel. Like, I enjoyed this film. I enjoy what Chloe Zhao's trying to do, but if she's going to keep directing Marvel films, she needs to amp up. Like, she needs to amp up. These are superheroes, not National Geographic. So, story-wise, the story is just not, it's not the Eternal story. If the Eternal story in the comic books is just very lackluster, then I would suggest they do something to amp up the story. You really don't get a feel for the characters like you think you should. I kind of did, especially with Angelina Jolie's Thea. It's just, like I said, 10 characters, the stories are kind of blah, blah. It's just basically point A, point B, point A, point B, point A, point B. I'm trying not to spoil anything here, so would I say watch this in theaters? Yes. Don't keep your hopes up. There's some great things. I'm going to watch this movie again because I love Thea so much, and I wish I had more of her. Thea is who I like. Cersei is okay, but I understand what people are talking about with Gemma Chan. She needs to. I guarantee she needs her own movie, where she needs an action movie of her own to evolve her as an actress, because with Cersei, the way they portray Cersei in this movie is not how she is in the comic books. I think if they would have did this comic book route with Cersei with Gemma Chan, this would have been a mind-blowing experience. It would have dropped the top right off, because this current run of Eternals that I was reading involving Cersei, way different. These Eternals are not the same kind of as they are in the comic books. They're a little bit more devious in the comic books. I'm telling you, there's a difference. But this movie's gonna get, out of 5 stars, it's gonna get a 2. I want to go 2.5, but I'm gonna pull a solid 2. I'm gonna be a solid 2 out of 5. I enjoyed the movie, but there's the reason why I'm giving it a 2 is because of Marvel's formulaic problems. They gotta make it a change now. They have to make a change. This isn't a sign this is a sign to make a change with the Eternals. Then Marvel's gonna have to start taking more risks. They're gonna have to start be more edgier with these characters. They're gonna have to cut loose. And that's all I have to say about Eternals right now. I suggest you see it. It's not a bad film, but it had potential to be great. It just did not follow through with a lot of things, and I can tell. I enjoyed the film. I'm gonna go see it again, but for somebody like you out there in the audience, I have characters in that movie that I cling to. You may not. So, hey, I mean, I like the movie, but I admit there is some problems. Marvel's running, and it's been long term with Marvel. Marvel is running into problems, and it's getting consistent. So that's my non-spoiler review for the Eternals. If you like it, this video, thumbs up. Comment down below what you thought about the movie if you saw it. Like, share, and subscribe. Next review is My Hero Academia. Peace out, guys.